Okay, students, let's come to the next topic of this lesson 6.4 Coins and Kings. So, coins and kings means that during that time, that is during that era, 600 BCE, coins were issued to facilitate the trade, especially the international trade that was happening within the countries, means within two countries. And these coins were mostly, you can say, they were issued in precious metal, that is gold or silver, because at that time the medium of exchange was gold or silver. So the prices of the goods were determined on the basis of the gold and silver. So the rulers of that time, to facilitate international trade, they have issued gold coins or silver coins so that they can purchase their sell their goods in that precious metal. To some extent, exchanges were facilitated. Facilitated means they were उनको बढ़ावा देना, means to enhance. Okay, to enhance trade, they were using gold or silver coins. By the introduction of coinage system, means at that time when they have started international trade, they stopped the barter system, and in place of barter system, now they have issued the coins to facilitate trade within two or more countries. Punch mark coins made of silver and copper 6th century CE onward, and these coins were punched mark. Punch mark means when the metals were minted into coins at that time, they were pressed hard, and a type of impression was carved on the these coins, and these impressions or the punch were related to the royal, you can say, stamp or royal impression. So in this way, these coins that were minted at that time, they were punched mark, and this punch was related to the ruler who had issued it. Okay, now yes, so punch marked coins made of silver and copper 6th century BCE onwards were amongst the earliest to be minted and used. So they were the earliest coins that were minted were made from silver and copper. These have been recovered from excavations at a number of sites throughout the subcontinent. Means when the historical sites were excavated, a lot of coins made from silver and coppers were they were found, and they were through the excavation. Okay, numismatics. Now, who are numismatics? Numismatics are those who study the science of coins, or you can say they study the coins and they try to know at which period these coins were minted, and at that time who was the ruler, and which metals, means the metals, which metals have been used to make this coin, and through these they try to understand the history of that period. Means they try to reconstruct the history of that period. And also they try to understand whether they were having link with other countries, means they were trading with other countries. Attempts made to identify the symbols on punch marked coins with specific ruling dynasties, means they were putting the impression the impression of the royal stamp, and through these royal stamps or the punch, they were trying to know which dynasties were ruling at that time. Dynasties I have already explained you, कौन सा राजवंश उस समय राज्य कर रहा था. Including, now it is saying, including the Mauryas, suggests that these were issued by kings. It is also likely that merchants, bankers and townspeople issued some of these coins, and because mostly these coins were minted for the purpose of trade, especially international trade, because at that time the medium of exchange was gold and silver, and through the gold and silver the price of the goods were determined with the price of the gold and silver. So these coins were minted in gold and silver, and through these they used to exchange the goods. So some of the coins were minted by the big merchants who were doing overseas trade, and bankers also. The first coin to bear the name and images of rulers were issued by the Indo-Greeks, who established control over the northwestern part of the subcontinent, 2nd century CE. So it is saying that the coins that were excavated, gold coins is, so the first gold coins were issued by the Indo-Greeks who came in the 1st century BCE. It means who were the successors of the Alexander, because Alexander who belonged to a small state of province of Macedonia from Greek, when he came to invade India, then he was not able to further invade, and so he went back, but he placed his general Seleucus in the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent, which he has already conquered. So these successors of the Seleucus, they settled down permanently, and they were known as Indo-Greeks, and they issued the first gold coins who were having images and the names. The first coins to bear the name, sorry, not the gold coin, only the first to bear the names and images rulers were issued by the Indo-Greeks, who established control over the northwestern part of the subcontinent. The first gold coins were issued in 1st centuries CE by the Kushans. The Kushans were also the foreign invaders who belonged to Central Asia, and they invaded India, and finally they conquered the northwestern part of India and settled down over there, and over there they issued the gold coins. These were virtually identical in weight and with those issued by contemporary Roman emperor and the Parthian rulers of Iran. It is also saying that the gold coins which were issued by the Kushanas, these gold coins were resembling the coins that were minted in the Roman Empire, that were issued in the Roman Empire and also in Iran. That time Iran was known as Parthian. So the coins, the gold coins that were issued by the Kushan rulers were exactly resembling the coins of the Roman Empire. So it tells that they were having trade, means the people of the Kushans, they were having trade relations with the Roman Empire as well as with the Parthians, that is the people from Iran. The widespread use of gold coins indicates that the enormous value of transactions that were taking place, and so much of gold coins were issued. So what it tells that these gold coins were used to trade with the other countries, because at that time the prices of the goods were fixed by the price of the gold, and was used as a medium of exchange, for as a medium of foreign exchange. So for purchasing the goods, they were giving in return, they were giving the gold coins, and so many gold coins were issued at that time for the purpose of having trade with the other countries. uh, Besides, holds of Roman coins have been found from archaeological sites in South India, and not only the people of the North Indian subcontinent were having foreign trade, but also the people of the South India were holding means numerous coins were found at one place were found. It suggests that even the people of the South India, they were also having trade with other foreign countries, especially with the European and the African continent from the west. Okay, now coins were issued by the tribal republics such as Yaduvas of Punjab and Haryana. So in first century, not only the big empires, the dynastic rulers of the big empires, they were issuing the coins for the purpose of trade, but also those who were the smaller republics, especially like the tribal republics, who were not having the monarchical form of government, but having the republican form of government, where the head of the state is elected by the people and they were having their own headmen. They were also issuing coins for the purpose of trade, but that their coins were not of so precious metal. It is made from copper for the purpose of having internal trade. Coins were also issued by the tribal republics such as that of the Yaduvas of Punjab and Haryana's 1st century CE. Archaeologists have unearthed several thousand copper coins issued by the Yaduvas, pointing to the latter's interest and participation in economic exchange. Means they were also very much interested to enhance their you can say enhance their business, enhance their trading relations, and thus they wanted to become developed, they wanted to prosper. Some of the most spectacular gold coins were issued by the Gupta rulers. Spectacular means which are very nice, which are very pleasant to see. So they are known as spectacular. So the gold coins, which were very, you can say, pleasant to see, they were issued by the Gupta rulers, and the important characteristic of their gold coins were that they were having the full purity. Means these gold coins were having full purity, they were not mixed with any other metal. uh, there was some kinds, but later on, after the 6th century CE onwards, finds of gold coin taper off. Taper off means it started gradually diminishing, and it can be suggested that the reason can be because of the shortage of these precious metals, or some type of shortage of any other means crisis, means shortage of any precious metal, or some economic crisis has emerged. Therefore gradually the use of or the minting of the gold coins gradually diminished or became extinct. Historians are divided on this issue. Some suggest that with the collapse of the Western Roman Empire, long distances trade declined. Means at that time Roman Empire also collapsed, And with the collapsing of the Roman Empire, when the long distance trade or the foreign trade that the people of the Indian subcontinent were having, they completely was over. Then there was no need of issuing so many gold coins, as only gold was used for the purpose of exchange, for fixing the price of the goods or commodities with the two countries, within the two countries. Um, okay, long distance, and this affected the prosperity of the states, communities, and regions that had benefited from it. Others argue that new towns and networks of trade started emerging around this time. They also point out that though finds of coins and the inscriptions, and could it be that there are fewer finds because coins were in circulation rather than being holded. और दूसरा कॉइन हो सकता है कि might be the other historians view that because they were in much circulation, so people have collected it for their own purpose, and gradually it was out from the market. So you can see a punch mark coin. So this is an impression that they were having, stamped on the metal surface. Then a Ayodhya coin. Here you can see a Gupta coin, very beautifully carved out figures. Okay, and then one, the Malabar Coast. This is a source, present day Kerala. Here is an script from Periplus of the Athenian Sea. Athenian Sea refers to Red Sea. So here Periplus is a Greek word meaning sailing around. So here it is saying that they were sailing around to the Red Sea, composed by an anonymous Greek sailor. First century CE. They, that is the traders from abroad, and send large ships to these market towns on account of the great quantity and bulk of paper and Malabathrum, possibly cinnamon, produced in these regions. Means the South Indian ships used to sail to these European countries, especially Roman Empire, and they were selling lot of you can say spices to these European countries, to the Roman Empire, where they were in great demand. They are imported here in the first place a great quantity of coin, topaz, uh, antimony, a mineral used as coloring substance, coral, crude glass, copper, tin, lead. There is exported paper which is produced in quantity in only one region near these market. Beside these, there are exported great quantity of fine pearls, ivory, silk cloth, transport stones of all kind, diamonds and sapphires, and tortoise shell. Archaeological evidence of a bead making industry using precious and semi-precious stones has been found in Kodumanal, Tamil Nadu. Means some evidence, these type of evidence that yes, there was some factories were there who were producing these type of precious and semi-precious stones. They have been excavated by the archaeologist. Okay.